Do for self or suffer the consequences. The wisdom of Elijah's inside of the conscientious, so I move.
Now, what I wanted to say tonight, I haven't got to it, but I'm trying to say to you, my dear beloved brothers and sisters, that there are cycles to life. And if you understand the cycles to life, you will understand what's happening in your personal life and in our national life right now. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that in the numbers, there is meaning. I'm not asking you to go and play any. I'm just saying that there is meaning in the numbers. Now, we know that, as we said Sunday, Islam is mathematics. Mathematics is Islam.
Yes, sir.
Mathematics is the mother of all science,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
the purest and most exact of the sciences. Mathematics has a symbolic language that expresses itself in symbols. But if you read the symbol and understand the symbol, you can figure and weigh and measure anything and everything. Now, you know, in the mathematical language, you have to begin with 1. But before you get to 1, you have a fraction. Since Allah, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught me, does not love fractions, he always moves a fraction to a resolution that a fraction could become a whole number. Allah is not pleased with our division.
That's right.
Our division makes us a fraction. Fractions can be made whole. If you can first reduce the fraction to its lowest terms, find the least common denominator, then you can bring the fraction to a whole number. You cannot begin with a fraction, you can begin with 1. So before we were 1, we were sperm mixed with ovum. 50-50. Fraction. But the fraction had intelligence. They were already reduced to their lowest term. So they understood they had to find each other in a hostile environment and get it on and become one. So the sperm instinctively looked for the egg, and the egg was ready to receive the sperm. And so one cell began, a drop of blood, and life began. So in the language of mathematics, you cannot begin without 1. And in the language of religion, you cannot begin without a belief in, a trust in, a confidence in, a faith in, and a worship only of the one God.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I'm not going through all of it, but every number has a meaning. Every one of these numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Every one of these numbers have a meaning. And my objective is not to teach the meaning of these numbers tonight. But my objective is to get you to know that these are not arbitrary numbers that just came up. The poor Romans were trying to figure using Roman numerals, and they didn't get anywhere. But the Arabic speaking people, or the Arabs, came up with this, what they call Arabic numerical system, which is the basis of all mathematical computation. This system is actually based on the universe.
Yes, sir.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Now, I'll show you how this relates to the universe in just a moment, but it's not really relevant to where I'm going tonight.
Yes, sir.
When a child is conceived and you get the drop of blood, you wait 30 days And when the female misses her cycle, she suspects she's pregnant. At the 3rd month, she's fairly safe, that after the 3rd month, she's going on. Sometimes you abort way up here, but most abortions take place right in here. Is that right?
That's right.
So this number 3 is significant in the growth and development of the fetus.
Yes, sir.
Or the embryo. Now, as you are in the womb, you are making stages. You're growing. When you reach 7, you're complete. Is that right? A 7-month baby, if it comes forward, it has a chance to live because it is complete. 8 is really somewhat precarious. But when you reach 9, you've reached full term. You're complete at 7, but 9 is full term, which adds a little bit more to the development. Now, when you get to 9, you reach a troublesome period. It's a very troublesome period. Now, you've done well from 1 to 9. Now, you either go here, which is 0, or you go here, which is 10. Now, that's the condition and the position that one is in when you reach certain stages in your development and you have come to a point of great trouble, trial, tribulation in your life, because now here you are completed in a phase of your development, but now you must be birthed to a higher level.
Yes, sir.
I was in Phoenix, Arizona a few weeks ago, and I was praying, I may have told you this, and crying at the same time, begging Allah to help me to understand why there had to be so much pain attending my life and those who are with me, my wife, my children, my friends and family. You know, why must they endure so much pain because of what you order me to do? You know, that my life becomes a trial for my wife, my children, those who are with me. My life becomes a yardstick or a criterion that separates people going in one direction or another. I want to understand, God, you know, why you use me in this kind of way, that my life brings joy to so many, but that joy gives way to pain. Because I'm not looking at the joy of you accepting truth. I'm looking at the pain of your defending the truth when the truth is attacked and lives are spent for the sake of truth. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I mean, the woman looks at the man. She says, he's handsome. I love him. I want him. Well, that's, you know, the physical thing talking. That's the nature of you talking. And it's really beautiful to watch you fall in love, you know? But that falling in love leads to some pain down the road. Not only pain in your life in terms of your trying to get your unity of these two different natures that are really one together, but the pain of understanding that your expression of love through sexual intercourse will lead you to the pain of childbirth, which could lead to your death. I mean, that's what love leads to.
Yes,
You didn't hear me. Well, I want you to hear me. You understand? Because love gets you into trouble. But God's love gets you out of the trouble that his love gets you in. He fixed nature so that he makes the male and female absolutely love each other. And we fall under each other's spell. I hate to use the word spell because that's not a scientific word, but I mean it's the nature of you. You know, we are made to attract each other. And since we're made to attract each other, we get too close and the magnetism get to pulling, and before you know it, we fell into something.
All right, I think that's a good place to stop the minister right there, since I have to at some point.
At some point.
Peace, what's going on? Nicely girl, man.
Was good.
I'm chilling. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm finally in. I've been running around all day.
Me too.
Brunch. I sat at a restaurant at brunch with my son, and I didn't eat, y'all. I'm so proud of me.
Yeah, I'm proud. I was about to say, I'm definitely proud of you. I saw the pictures inside the chat. You're sitting across from them big old pancakes, and you ain't have no food.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
I didn't get tempted either.
How you feel? How you feel today?
I honestly feel really, really good. I think I've conquered it. I mean, it's only a week for me, like a full week, including the weekend or whatever.
Yeah.
But I thought that the weekend was going to be challenging because the weekends we usually go out and do stuff. And so, I babysat yesterday too. My niece's baby. That was a whole other. I ain't babysitting no more. To all my nieces and nephews that have babies, no. No, like she just came and got it this morning, like up all night. She's not used to me. She doesn't really know me. They live out of state. And so she came down to hang out my nephew's wife's birthday. So they all went partying or whatever. And so I was like, sure, is she gonna cry? She was like, no, she's good. I was like, as soon as she walked out the door, like 3 minutes later, y'all, it was on like nonstop. Like,
how old is the baby?
8 months.
Oh,
y'all, no bottle, no pacifier. It was no plan. Let me tell you, I was trying to give her candy. I was trying to give her some lemonade. Like, I was trying everything. It just was not working. Like, I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna let her cry herself to sleep, because like at this point, there's nothing I can do. Walking her around, nothing was helping. And so my niece texted me, was like, how's she doing? I said, she's still screaming, like just nonstop. And so she said, well, put on the backyardigans or something like that, if you can put on YouTube on your phone. So I do that. At this point, it's like midnight, after midnight. She dropped her off probably 8:30. And when I tell y'all nonstop, nonstop. So I put the backyardigans on. This heifer literally stopped crying. And within 8 minutes.
It's the little tricks.
The answer is still no. Anyone else? I am so past that stage in life. No.
I feel you. I would have said no from the gate. They'd have been mad at me.
Right.
Not no little baby. You got like a 3-year-old, maybe like late 2s, 3-year-olds and all that. That's cool. But a baby that can't say nothing to me about what's wrong. You know what I'm saying?
I like babies though. That's like my favorite, stage. The baby when they start crying.
I don't like babies. I don't like babies. I ain't even like my own babies.
She's 5. She's 5 years old. Even though the backyardigans work. And then this morning she woke up around 5:45, which is fine. Full on ready to play. Like she was over it this morning. Like her mom came a little after 8 this morning, and she was in full play mode, loving all on me, no more crying. I was like, after what you put me through last night, now you want to love on me and be happy? Like, what?
Yes,
but the answer is no. Anybody else? No. In a man.
Yeah, but I just definitely wanted to, salute you for hanging in there with the fast, man. Ramadan Mubarak to everybody out there that's fasting for Ramadan. Me and my sister, we in there with y'all. We rocking with y'all. This is day number, it's 10 technically, but ninth day, just going through the whole day, fasting and all that. And you did good. I seen that big old pancakes on your son's plate sitting there, and I know it smelled good too.
I did. Everybody's food. I was looking around like, oh, and then lady was like, so what are you having? I was like, oh, nothing. Nothing. Just I did have a coffee.
You're gonna have to watch me drink this water now because it's time for me to break my fast.
I'm
It's
drinking
time for me
water.
to break mine.
I am
Oh
drinking
yeah, that's
water.
right. I forgot you was doing it. I forgot you was
I'm
doing
drinking
it.
water through the fast because this is my first real fast. So I am doing water with lemon the whole time until it's time for me to eat.
Now me, that was my first swig of water. And I was on the road all day. I had to drive to Charlotte, go pick up my daughter. Picked her up from work. She got a little job. She working at Dunkin' Donuts out there. I pulled up on that at her gig, picked her up from work and all that, and then turned right back around. But we was jamming. It was a cool ride. My daughter, she took control of the aux, and she had her playlist rocking. But it made me so proud, man, because she got good taste in music. She got great taste in music. Like the whole time.
Experience today. I didn't have that experience with the music today. Usually I do, and I tell you all the time I do. Today was horrible. I had to tell them, like, look, I gave it to you on the way up to Hollywood, but on the way back, I got to take it. Like, it was bad. I don't know these Negroes that he was playing today. Like, it was a bunch of mumbling and stuff going on. I was like, oh, no. Mm-mm.
Nah, my daughter was rocking. She was playing a little bit of Lauryn Hill. She threw us some Keisha Cole. She even took it all the way back. She played some Sam Cooke. She was playing like the old Chris Brown from being a little kid that used to play with them right in my backseat. All the jams, man. J. Cole's stuff that she know I like. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't have to say nothing the whole ride.
Oh, I had to complain. I had to complain today.
Yes, but welcome, family. Welcome to another episode of Sincere Love the Godcast. Happy Sunday, everybody. We late, but we here though.
We here.
We late, but we are here. I was thinking 8:00 in my mind. I don't know why.
You was thinking Wednesday?
Yeah, I'm thinking like Wednesday or Thursday. Okay, we go live at 8:00. Let me run out. I went to go get me a smoothie. I got a little salad out there, getting stuff ready for now. It's time, but I'm good. Right. I ain't tripping. But I was like, oh, wait a minute. We supposed to be live right now. So I just had to switch everything up real quick. But we here. We here. Peace to the family. We got a lot to talk about, right?
We do. We got a lot. I mean, it's been a lot of little stuff going on, I say, this past week. Right? In the news, social media, wherever, you get your source from. But there has been a whole lot, I feel, going on. I mean, white supremacy still doing their thing, right?
Alive and kicking.
Yeah. So, they take no days off, and so another week of confirmation that they do not take any days off.
Facts. That's a whole fact right there. And so let me see what we're going to start with. What we going to start off with?
Where do we begin? Is that much? Like, where do we begin? We got options today.
We got options. Let's do little stuff.
Katunji, what's her name?
Well, let's do the little stuff. Let's do the light stuff first. But first of all, family. So the theme of today's show, family, is white immunity from law. White immunity from law is the theme of today's show, and we've been seeing textbook examples of this over the past week. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like she said, no days off for white supremacy. So we've been seeing textbook examples of that white supremacist edict that white people are not supposed to get punished, particularly for harming black people, but damn near for anything. You know what I'm saying? Damn near for anything. Word up. But yeah, so we could talk about some of the light stuff that's going on first, and then we'll get into some of the other things. Well, damn, it ain't really light.
Yeah, I'm like light.
It ain't really light. I don't mean to say light.
Okay, we can start here. How about we start with the Minnesota professor who raised that $200K for
There you go.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have heard this story, but there was a professor in Minnesota who raised 200K for Philando Castile in his name, and then she didn't give up the money.
Well,
I'm just saying,
she was out
you
here
know,
tricking that money off.
she was she had no intention on giving it in the first place. She just looked at it
Right.
as this is a hustle. As we're learning so much, I mean, we can just go to Black Lives Matter, right?
Right.
Black man get killed by police, hustle time. Let's start a GoFundMe and fake like we're gonna give it to the family. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And start buying matches in neighborhoods that, don't really welcome us. That's what we do.
Right.
Right.
Right. Again, though, when the black folks do it, you're gonna see consequences and repercussions. But for
Black
this
Lives
white,
Matter
yeah,
right now.
exactly. But for white people doing the same thing, it's the same
Right.
finesse. Ain't nothing no different. It's the same finesse. You know what I'm saying? So Minnesota professor raised 200K in Philando Castile's name for student lunch debt. Now she's ordered to pay back funds that she misappropriated. A woman.
So do you think that she should get jail time for something like that? Like,
Yeah,
or
yes,
is it,
that's
I
criminal.
feel like that warrants jail time, not just give the money back, but
Right.
like, yeah.
That's criminal. They're not talking about her losing her position or anything. If I remember that article correctly. Let me see. I'm
It
gonna just read
starts
through it
talking
real quick.
about giving the money back.
Mm-hmm. And remember, that's out there with Keith Ellison out there in Minnesota.
Right.
Out there in Minnesota. So they got their flunkies in place as well. So her name is Pamela Fergus. She's a former psychology professor at the Metropolitan State University. And she has agreed to the settlement that will repay thousands of dollars collected during an online fundraiser titled Philando Feeds the Children. So that's the same finesse that the little hood rat was doing out there with the kid that fell off the
Off the
Ferris wheel,
ride.
right?
Yeah, same finesse.
Yeah.
And you notice that it's
where was that, in
always
Florida?
was it? I don't remember.
I think that was in Florida.
I just feel like the death of black men, though, you know what I'm saying? It just goes to say something. It's very specific and directed to the deaths of black men, no matter in what matter, because the child, the 14-year-old boy, that fell to his death in that ride is still a finesse when it comes to black men. And a lot of times it's not necessarily us, not to excuse that rat, that hood rat for what she did, but it's a lot of times these white supremacists that do it.
Absolutely.
They gonna start them a nonprofit real quick in the name of somebody, get their quick hustle on. Next thing you know, the nonprofit is exhausted and they gone.
Right. And so it says the agreement, which did not require Fergus to admit guilt, was filed in Ramsey County District Court. So on paper, she's not even guilty, but she got to pay the money back.
Right.
But she got to pay the money back. I ain't do nothing wrong, but I got to pay the money back. So that way you can still keep your standing in society, whether it's your job or
your job,
whatever,
your pension.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, pension, that type of shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, so that's even though that's a not a heavy story to cover, even though it's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But
because
that's a great example of the theme.
It's messed up because the officer was not held accountable for his death either.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just another slap in the face to the family, to the citizens, to the woman that was in the car, his girlfriend at the time, her child. That's another slap in their face again.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And I didn't see any comments from them or anything in the article. I don't know if there's any other articles out there where they actually talk to them to get a comment or not. But in that article, this one was in yahoo.com, and it didn't mention anything about any comments from the family or anything like that. But I know they feel some type of way.
It should have went to them, maybe. Why not? The trauma, that she and that little girl suffered during that time. I think that maybe they should have just gone to them. The school, all right. They're getting big money from the government, for free lunch programs and stuff. Give that to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you just brought that back in perspective for me because, right, that officer's still walking, that race soldier still walking around here.
With his
Free and
job.
clear. White immunity from law.
Yep.
That's that white immunity from law. And so another one was, what was it? What was it? I just saw, the volleyball coach.
Oh, yeah. So they just sucked. So she just said, you know what? We're just gonna scratch everybody off, and we redoing. We just gonna go do everything. Y'all
New
suck.
volleyball coach at Grambling University cuts the entire roster. So they hired a new coach. She came in there and kicked everybody off the team.
Like,
so I guess they was trash, but all of them were on scholarship. Well, I think they said 19 of them were on scholarship. And so you get kicked off the team, you lose your scholarship.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so it said that they have the ability to try back out for the team, but she just came in on some Joe Clark shit.
Right.
You used to call me Crazy Joe. Now you call me Batman.
She did call them on in a meeting on that Monday. She called an individual meeting with each player and told them their scholarships would not be renewed.
Right.
Wow.
Right. So I know there's some backlash from that with these parents and stuff like that. Like, what the hell going on here?
She said,
what's more important?
Sorry.
I was going to say, what's more important?
She said there's more quality players coming. Ain't that something?
But my question was going to be: is it more? Is the volleyball team more important than the education?
Maybe they were feeling it both. You know what I'm saying? Because you still have to have a certain grade too to remain on the team as well. So if you're not performing on the team as well as academically, because it's two. When you get those scholarships, you have to maintain both.
Right. It's student athlete, first, student athlete. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't say nothing about the girls' grades.
No.
You know what I'm saying? They just said, I guess the team was struggling. They hired a new coach, and she just came in and fired everybody. I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know how to feel about that.
I don't know. She said she has a vision, so I guess for her vision is winning.
We'll see.
And so, yeah, that's what it seems a bit selfish, when you're looking at, what I'm saying, her words, like, I have a vision. Okay. But so do they. And they wanted to, they use these opportunities to play volleyball, to get their degree in another field in which they plan on getting it. So now, what I'm saying, you're like, well, I have a vision to win because y'all been sucking, so y'all cut.
I guess.
Yeah. I guess. If I'm the parent, I'm going off. If I'm the parent, I'm going off. You're just not cutting my child like that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I know some parents is going in right now.
I would.
Yes, indeed. All right, so moving right along. Mackenzie Scott. Well, actually, before we even go to that, some good news right here. You sent me this with the 13-year-old girl became a multimillionaire in 1 year by selling NFT art.
Yes.
13-year-old girl. Actually, let me pull that up. I'm gonna pull that one up. Man, I shared
it with Jared as well because I was like, I didn't know if he had saw the story or not, So
yes,
I shared it with him as well.
Yes, indeed. And I know they said that, the girl didn't really know nothing about NFT. She didn't really know nothing about that whole space. She was selling
the art, though. I think she was selling NFT art, right?
Yeah, she's an artist. She's an artist. She was drawing these pictures. She was drawing pictures ever since she was a little girl of dinosaurs, and then she started drawing like famous people, but she was using the same silhouette as the dinosaur with the long neck that she liked to draw. And her uncle, it was her uncle. Shout out to her black uncle. You know what I'm saying? Who came like, yo, you should turn these into some NFTs. And they was kind of like, okay, I guess so. You know, she was looking for a way to put it out there. And within the first year, she's a multimillionaire. And so, you know how our black first mind gets us to start looking for funny shit in these type of stories. Right. But I tried to turn it down. I'm like, all right, let me just keep my antennas down. This is just a good story. You know what I'm saying? I would just leave it at that. Because when you see mainstream media bigging something up, it's always like, okay, what's the angle here? You know what I'm saying? Why are y'all doing this? But I ain't even gonna go there. You know, not today anyway. I'm not gonna go there. Not today.
Tomorrow. We'll go there tomorrow.
I'm just gonna big the little girl and her uncle and her family up. You know what I'm saying? Because this is dope. I think it is dope. And we talk about crypto and NFTs and stuff on here all the time as well too. And so we all trying to learn more about the space. And so this is just a good example of, you know, how people's life could change overnight. You know what I'm saying? If you got some skill, you got some talent, and you start to understand this space and how you can flip it. Let me play a little bit of this. Fair use, Instagram, fair use. We're using this for commentary purposes, educational purposes. I know this is Channel 4 news material right here, but fair use.
I love drawing women from all around the world because I really like different cultures and different backgrounds.
Nyla Hayes' drawings are captivating, from iconic women like Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Lucille Ball to portraits of everyday women, all with a signature characteristic, a stretched neck, or, as Nyla calls them, long neckies. The name actually comes from when Nyla was little and her nickname for her favorite reptile, the Brontosaurus.
I didn't know what to call it, so I just thought of them as long neckies.
So Nyla, you have this favorite dinosaur with this long neck. What was your inspiration to start drawing people with that long neck?
At first, I just wanted to put two things that I love together, and that was the Brontosaurus and women. I wanted to kind of show how beautiful and strong women were. And I thought of the Brontosaurus as well.
And believe it or not, her collection of more than 3,000 long neckies has made Nyla a multi-millionaire at just 13 years old. How? By selling them as NFTs, or non-fungible tokens. Non-fungible means something is one of a kind, like an original drawing, video, or song. Each of Nyla's portraits is literally unique, so she can post or mint it onto an NFT website where someone can buy it with cryptocurrency and own its digital code. The marketplace so lucrative, data company nonfungible.com recently estimated more than $17 billion worth of NFTs were traded last year. As for Nyla, people have traded her NFTs to the tune of nearly $7 million.
Nyla, when you think back to when you started making these long...
So, yeah, man. You know, because a lot of y'all out there got different skills and talents that you really don't think much of. And, you know, as we learned from, you know, a few people that have been on here teaching us about the space, almost anything could be an NFT. You know what I'm saying? Anything could be an NFT. So a lot of y'all out there got different talents and skills that you probably don't even think much about. It's just something that you do in your spare time. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully that inspires somebody to look more into the space and see how you could get in, because you never know what might happen. You know what I'm saying? You never know. People are into what you do and how much your stuff could be worth, man.
She didn't know, but she did it.
Right. Right. So yeah, cool story. Cool story.
In white on white crime news, I guess if you will, or white people not being held accountable news.
White immunity from law.
Right, white immunity from law. Grand Rapids, Michigan, a jury on Friday acquitted two men on all charges in a plot to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, but couldn't reach verdicts against two alleged leaders. a stunning defeat for the government after a weeks-long trial that centered on a remarkable FBI sting operation just before the 2020 election.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so, what happened? What's going on with them?
Well, they've been acquitted. They're not going to jail.
2 of them been acquitted, and I think the other 2 they just didn't
They
find
just
any.
couldn't come up. So basically, that's a deadlock, right? So
Yeah.
either they're gonna file a motion to retry them or let them go, which hasn't been announced yet.
Right.
And again, this wasn't a black person as a victim, but it makes you wonder why wouldn't they? Is it because she's a Democrat? Maybe I don't know.
Couldn't agree on the verdict of the other 2. So yeah, acquitted 2 men of all charges in a plot to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, but couldn't reach verdict against the 2 alleged leaders. A stunning defeat for the government after a weeks-long trial that centered on a remarkable FBI sting operation just over. You just read that, right? I'm reading the same thing again.
Remember this story too. It was big news, when it happened in 2020.
Yeah.
This was huge.
But this wasn't the one where they hired that black militia to come guard.
No, because that was
do
the sister.
security.
They were guarding another sister.
Okay,
No.
Okay, yeah. But they wilding out there in Michigan, boy.
Yeah.
They're trying to overthrow the Michigan government.
So that's
yeah,
that
man.
news.
Hold on. I'm trying to see what they did with the other 2. The jury could not reach verdicts for Adam Fox and Barry Croft, 38 and 46, which means the government can put them on trial again for 2 conspiracy charges. Croft also faces a separate explosive charge, and they'll remain in custody. So we'll see what happens with that.
I mean, if you couldn't find the other 2, guilty, you acquitted them. What, what I'm saying? If this a 4-person plot, then all of them should be held accountable. Like that doesn't make sense.
Right. So yeah, that was crazy, man, because everybody, not even just the 4 people who was down with that, but everybody and their mama going to jail if they was black.
Man. Listen,
everybody on your phone contact list
going to jail.
You know what I'm saying? Going to jail.
I didn't know he was going to rob the store. You was in the car 2 miles away. You going to?
Everybody going to jail.
Oh yeah. Oh, I got another one. This one right here. Ugh. I mean, just talk about the contempt that the Dems have for Black America, their actual voting base, number one, and the fact that they're literally trying to, at this point, I'm just going to say it, what our elder, Dr. Claude Anderson, has said many, many times, that we are looking to be the permanent minority.
Underclass,
right. And the California Dem bill will allow non-citizens to become police officers. This is here in California.
Oh, shit.
We're full of them, by the way. We're full of them. And you guys, I'm sure, have heard all these scandals with, gang members being, or the LAPD having their own, racist gang within the police department. Years ago, I'm sure you guys heard about the Rampart scandal. Like, LAPD has literally been, just dirty. Dirty to the core. And now you're going to let some illegals who could be some drug lords, they could be, all kinds of things. And again, key word is illegal.
Right.
Key word is illegal.
These are illegal non-citizens, and they're amending something that's on the books. They're undoing it to give them the ability to become police officers, right?
Exactly. It's called SB 960. SB 960, proposed by Democrat Senator Nancy Skinner, would remove the provision that an individual must be a citizen or permanent resident of the United States in order to become a police officer. So now, they know how to make bills and make provisions and stuff for everyone to get something and benefit from something, but Black people.
Right. Especially if they're going to get something that gives them power and an advantage over you,
Exactly.
rulership over you. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? That's like they was doing the same thing with the Russians before. You know what I'm saying? They probably still do. And I know in New York, you know what I'm saying? A lot of Russians got into the police force and all of that shit too. And a lot of these people, they come from these what do you call it? What do you call it? It's like militias, you know what I'm saying? But even more high tech than that though. You know what I'm saying? Not just some random niggas that collect guns and go shooting and shit like that. I'm talking about like Blackwater and shit like that. I forgot what you call them type of people. Blackwater and shit like that. Like these are official like espionage groups and shit like that these people come from, their background come from, and they get fast tracked into law enforcement. You know what I'm saying?
Which is what
Just
they're
in
about to
time.
do with these Ukrainians. Exactly what they're about to do with these Ukrainians. They're about to get them jobs within law enforcement as well.
Mm. Both of y'all had the same thought at the same time.
Right.
They about to let they about to let 100,000 Ukraine into the United States with $10 billion budget split between them. What if they what you think they're gonna do with the black community?
Exactly.
Same in Newark, says G&G Firearms. Same thing going on in Newark.
You know, it's like they can, but they know how to bend the rules. They know how to finesse the system. They know how to make amendments. They know how to do everything that they need to do to give jobs, because this will be a job, and benefits and pensions, etc., for non-citizens.
And also out there in California, you got that Villanueva dude.
Yeah.
He's been subpoenaed to testify about those deputy gangs.
Yeah, but he's going to plead the fifth. He's not going to do it. He's not going to do it. He's been protecting it. I do not see this man doing anything about that. Now, I will say this. I have to play kind of devil's advocate when it comes to him a bit. And I've been thinking, Dwan B said it. I've always thought it. So we have the new chief or whatever that's married to the black woman. I don't know if y'all know about him, who said that he was going to come in and eliminate like the bail system on nonviolent offenders and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he's kind of been doing his thing. Now he's against people, California citizens, respected and lawful gun owning here. He doesn't want them to get their CCWs, right? He wants to keep it the way that it has been for too long. Versus Villanueva, dude, he's been approving them left and right. Like if you're you have no felonies, a gun owner, you want to get your gun license concealed carry, now is the time to get it, because he's just not turning down applications. The only way that it's going to get turned down at this point is if something comes back on your background check. Otherwise, approved. He's been doing this for the past year-ish or so, less than a year, but approving it left and right. This is unheard of. This is actually unprecedented.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing about the white supremacists on the right. A lot of times, we keep saying it, we will inadvertently benefit from their policies because their idea of how to maintain the system is so old school, and they're more arrogant, you know what I'm saying, with their racism. Whereas the white supremacists on the left, they're more sophisticated. And they know how to move in a manner where they play chess with it. You know what I'm saying? Where the white supremacists on the right, they feel like, man, we've been ruling these niggas so long. We so far ahead of them. They ain't never gonna catch up. We could make little bullshit mistakes. We got to get this done for us. Who cares if they might benefit here and there? They ain't never gonna catch up. We ain't got to worry about them. Where the white supremacists on the left, they're not trying to give niggas an inch.
Nothing.
Because they understand what niggas can do with an inch. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, I don't support neither one of them, obviously.
Right.
I don't support neither one of them, obviously. But the thing about it is, with us pushing this hold your vote message, you know what I'm saying? That's gonna hurt the Democrats, the left-leaning white supremacists. And by default, give the power to the Republicans and the white supremacists on the right, which, like I said, there are some tangible benefits that we can receive from that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, I don't know, man. Things are going to get real interesting. These upcoming elections, things are going to get real interesting, especially if enough of us stay on code and stay away from them polls and these national elections. We're going to really see what the game is, because the Republicans, they ready to go all in. Whatever they trying to do, they ready to go all in. They on a full forward march with their bullshit.
Right.
And so it's going to be get down and lay down time.
Well, I think the Dems, though, are so cocky, you know what I'm saying, because they have their, bootlicks working for them. And, so they're still relying on them to, further manipulate, and I think it's the older people, for me, that they're still easily able to manipulate. And when I say older, I'm going to say the civil rights era. Everyone, after that, I think are slowly but surely getting on code. Now, I will say this. I was listening to TVA this morning because obviously I was up with the baby. And so I got a chance to get caught up on his broadcast from yesterday. And I was so annoyed with this woman that called, 47 years old. That's my age. Off, just dumb as hell. Just dumb for no reason, talking about, the benefit is if we got somebody that's black, I mean, she in there, she got a job. What does that do for the collective? I mean, she in there. I mean, just sounding like that was like I was screaming at the phone. Like, I just could not believe. And then she says that she's someone that faithfully listens to him. How so you're faithfully listening to someone and you have not got
that don't make sense.
That
don't make sense.
Like,
that's impossible.
For this crap right here that you speaking, sis. Like, I was so, how do you listen to him faithfully and you off code like this?
Yeah, that don't make no sense, because the way the game is broken down, you know what I'm saying, in new black media, there's nothing to argue with.
Right.
There's nothing to argue with. You know what I'm saying? They give you the game from, 720 degrees. You know what I'm saying? All angles that you could possibly look at it and then go around it one more time and break it down again. And there's nothing left to argue with. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're talking about, what we need to be doing on the political field.
Right.
Certain things, you know what I'm saying, other topics that people get into, that could be left to, your perspective, opinionated, or whatever the case may be. But when we're talking about, what's going on in the political arena, ain't nothing left to argue with, man. Ain't nothing left to argue with.
Right, Crown. Seriously, I wanted to slap her, to be honest. I was just like, lady, I wanted to shake her. And honestly, I expected him to go harder than he actually did on her. You know what I'm saying? Especially when he found out that she was a, regular listener.
Yeah, I didn't hear the lady that y'all talking about. I only got halfway through that broadcast.
She called in. It was a call in towards.
But I hear these people all the time, though, working at the barbershop. You get these people all the time. And now I will say the majority of them are non-FBA. You know what I'm saying? But they young. You know what I'm saying? They grew up here. You know what I'm saying? And they be sounding like that. They be sounding like that. I be going to battle with these people, man.
Well, again, so if they're non-FBA, it is understandable, because what do we hear all the time in these spaces? We're here for opportunity. So to them, getting a job is an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And even if that means selling out, FBAs, well, I have no, ties to y'all anyway. So that's easy for me. You know what I'm saying? So I get it in that aspect. But for an FBA person to be on that shit, I don't get it at all.
Right. It's too late in the day, man. It's too late in the day. But I ain't gonna front, like, during the it was the last election. It was the Biden Harris versus Trump. I didn't think they was gonna win. I thought there was enough of us that was on code that wasn't going to go out there and vote like that. But a lot of niggas went for the catfish nuggets.
Well, we have these voting machines that we had those ballots that were found in the trash. Like there was some type of finesse. I'm not gonna.
You saying it was a finesse?
It was a finesse. I'm going with the finesse. I'm sticking to that because it just doesn't make sense. They had people that were deceased mailing ballots. Was there someone's wife? What's his name? In where Breonna Taylor, the coon over there. Daniel something.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Remember,
damn.
His wife had 2 ballots in 2 different states. That came out after the election.
I'm still trying to remember his name, but yeah.
Daniel something. I can't think of his name, but that little.
And wasn't there something in Nashville where there was some explosion outside one of those voting places? Like when a truck blew up out there, something crazy happened out there in Nashville right around the election time. There was a lot of shit going on. There was a lot of, even here in Georgia, they were showing all them people with the uncounted ballots laying around. They were going live and shit and all that shit. Yeah.
I'm just saying it was a finesse, and I just don't believe that so many of us were that off code. I believe that this was definitely a finesse. It was finesse.
If it was a finesse,
I believe Trump on that one.
If it was a finesse, that means they had to have a lot of Republicans down with the finesse too, and they just wanted to get Trump out.
Yeah.
It was just about removing Trump, period. Yeah, Daniel Cameron, thanks.
Yeah, there we go.
Daniel Cameron, that's his name out there in Kentucky. But yeah, there had to be a lot of Republicans that was down with it if it was a finesse.
Playing both sides of the argument, because you have the Dems who are immigration everything. Then you have Texas Governor Greg Abbott directs use of buses to drop off migrants at steps of Capitol in DC. So they're playing both sides. Let's be for real. Come on now. Mitch McConnell was married to an Asian.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of them do that. A lot of those white supremacists on the right marry Asian women, and procreate with Asian women because white women are not, having babies fast enough for them, and white women are getting too off code for them. Right. White women are wanting, too much power. You know what I'm saying? White women with all this feminist movement stuff and all of that stuff, they trying to jockey for position. And so they're like, you know what, we're going to go over here in this Eurasia area, get some of these docile Asian women who are white enough so I could get me some hopper babies that could pass for white, like the Horsecloth dude that was out there raping and was he killing women too out there?
He was just raping them. He wasn't killing them. He was just raping them.
He raped like 60 women or something like that. Mm-hmm. And they still trying to get him out of prison right now.
Right. He
was a hopper. You know what I'm saying? But he identified with white supremacy.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
Mary County Chung.
Yes.
Right. A lot of those alt-right dudes have Asian women. Mm-hmm. Remember that chick from MTV? She was down with those alt-right people.
Oh yeah, Tila
Tequila, something like that. She was out there throwing up all type of white supremacist hand signals and shit like that. So yeah, that's a strategy. That's a strategic move on their part. You know what I mean? They need a replacement womb.
Whoa. And isn't one of the Bushes married to a Spanish woman, Latina? I don't know if it was Bush Jr. Bush Jr. His wife is Latina or something, right?
No.
I don't think she's white. I think she's Spanish.
Barbara Bush?
No.
Barbara Bush?
Barbara. Her name Barbara? Not that one, because they dead, aren't they? I know the oldest Bush died. I don't know if his wife died. I'm talking about the second Bush.
Yeah, ain't it Barbara?
Maybe.
Oh, that was the dad. The dad's wife's name was Barbara. I don't know, but I thought those were some Anglos.
Maybe.
I thought those were some Anglo white women.
You may be right. But they definitely play both sides of the argument. Both sides do. They do this whole good cop, bad cop type of shit. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it is, I would say that Republicans are definitely not offering any tangibles to Black America so that they can just sweep it. You know, so they're just like, you know, we don't give a damn either way.
Yeah,
You
they
know
don't
what I'm
need
saying?
us.
They don't care. Yeah.
They don't need us to vote for them. You know what I'm saying? They settle for their little coons just for photo ops and shit like
Hmm.
that. You know what I'm saying? We put a little couple spokespeople out there like the Candace Owens and shit like that just to spew their talking points so they can hide their racism. But they're not what do you call it? They're not courting us for our vote. They don't need us.
Oh.
But the Dems is going hard. That's what this whole we'll get into the Ketanji shit in a minute, but you was talking about the governor down there in Texas. So they repealed some COVID provision that was blocking people from coming in across the border.
Hmm.
And that's why they're getting flooded down there in Texas, with all these people coming across the border, just hundreds and maybe even thousands of people coming into Texas. And so he got busloads of them and sent them right down to DC, drop them off on what's the name steps on the Capitol Hill.
Right.
So, here you go. You wanted them in. You wanted to let them in. Here you go. You figure out what to
He
do
should
with
have took him to his house, not to the White House, his personal house, because he ain't staying there. Take him to his house and
them.
drop him off and shit.
But man, it's crazy, family. And so that one chick we was talking about that's on Twitter that been in our spaces for a minute.
Oh.
I was kind of going back and forth with her a little bit on Twitter.
Hmm.
She talking about we need to vote. I should
Oh,
look for that.
Denise. I'll tell you her name right now. I know who you're talking about.
I forgot why I even brought it up, but she just came across my
I don't know, but
mind.
it's a good topic. We here. This is the time, you know, to talk about it because we have elections kind of everywhere, starting in May and June. So it's time. Denise Long,
Let me see if I can find that. Hold on. Denise.
and her Twitter handle is P Denise Long. P
Okay,
like Paul.
I found her page. I'm just trying to see if I can find that thread. That was early in the week. Let me
Yeah,
see.
maybe like Friday, maybe.
Oh yeah, she got hella tweets on here. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to dig this up. But everybody, she appeared to be, on code. There was some tweets, even some older tweets with her talking about, the vote ain't free and blah blah blah.
Right.
And then she was telling me like, okay, so what's your exit plan? What's your exit strategy? Since you ain't gonna vote, what's your exit plan? I'm like, vote for what? Don't tell me what the reason why I need to be scared. I'm like, don't try to fear monger me
Good
to the
one.
vote.
I heard.
You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? I can't find it though.
I'm about to find it.
I'm like, don't fear monger the game. You know what I'm saying? Give me a reason why I should vote for one of these people. What are any of them offering in exchange for the vote?
Right, and neither one of are offering anything. So what am I vote? What am I running to the polls for?
Right. Don't try to scare me about oh the immigrants are coming. The immigrants are coming.
They've
The
been
immigrants
here.
is here.
They here. Ain't going nowhere. They opening up the doors. What you talking about?
The immigrants are here, and I'm seeing a lot of her stuff. She's talking about reparations. She even tweeting some of Marcel's stuff and all of that stuff. And so I'm just confused because I couldn't even figure out if she was caping for the Dems or the Republicans. I'm like,
Right.
who you saying I should
Right.
vote for then?
Right. Remember, because I said something about that in our little, group. I was like, is she trying to? She sounds like the Dems, like, what I'm saying, vote blue no matter who. Without saying that, what I'm saying, that's kind of the vibe that I was getting.
But the funny thing is, here go a tweet from her right here. Here go a tweet from her right here. This ain't where we was going back and forth at, but this is what I mean. Like, I was confused by her because here she's saying this. Can y'all see that?
Now we can.
The days of blue, no matter who, are over. All Americans first? I'm confused. All Americans first?
Not black first.
I'm confused. I'm just confused. And so a lot of them, what they do, a lot of these people, what they'll do is they'll toss a lot of word salad at you to try to get you, take you down some lane somewhere that's irrelevant to the topic, instead of just dealing with the topic at hand and just answering the question. Look, a vote is quid pro quo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's a transactional thing. You know what I'm saying? So what are we transacting? You know what I'm saying? If you're saying we need to be voting, and sitting out is a failed strategy, even though we haven't tried it as a group, but you're telling me that that's not the way to go. We need to be voting. Okay. What's the exchange that's taking place? What's the transaction, and who we supposed to be voting for, and what's the transaction that's taking place? I couldn't seem to get to that part.
And then, we made the mistake. Well, black people made the mistake. We just got to get Trump out.
Right. Trump ain't here no more. So why y'all still doing that? Why y'all still doing that? And the thing is,
I found the thread. It's actually from 5 days ago. I'm gonna DM it to you.
Put it in my Twitter. Put it in my
Twitter DM, right?
Yeah.
I'm about to do that right now. I found it.
Teamwork make the dream work. Make sure y'all hit that like button, hit the share button, and let everybody know we live, man. Click that notification bell.
There it is.
Okay.
I found that. And your back and forth was the first one on there when you go into the thread.
Okay, got it. Let me see. Yeah, so I was kind of confused. Let me try to make it bigger. Hopefully y'all can see that pretty good.
Yeah, I can actually.
So it's dear black voters, nobody cares that you're mad enough to stay home. Somebody is going to win. Your opponents win when you forfeit your power to decide who gets next. A 35% shift in black voting pattern will change the outcome of an election. You're the swing vote. Claim it. So we're supposed to just act like our ability to vote is power. Just our ability.
Powerless people. We vote the most in the largest numbers, yet we're still at the bottom.
Right.
How's that work out?
I'm not one to run around calling everyone an agent, but me and Rob, Black Like Revelations, broke down her interview that she did on BNC, and she is for sure an agent. Okay, I didn't even see the interview. Appreciate that, Tony. I didn't even see the interview, but just from that little back and forth, I was so confused. I'm like, what's up with this lady? Because she's doing a lot of double speak. She's doing a lot of double speak. And my only reason why I brought this up was just to tell the family, you got to be careful about some of the people that sound like us. We got to have a fine-tooth comb going through every single word when people are out here running their mouth, man. And that includes us right here on the GodCast. We don't mind being vetted.
Period.
We don't mind being vetted. You know what I'm saying? All of this shit is recorded. Y'all could go back and watch all the replays. You know, we're very consistent with our message. We're not all over the place saying one thing and then turning around and contradicting it the next day.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was confused. She's coming in using our talking points to bring us into the republic. So that's what she's trying to do. And there's a lot of
you called that.
There's a lot of black Republicans that are on that. And what the Dems do is when they hear us talking, or they take our talking points, I should say, and they attribute it to Trump supporters and Republicans. When we say, no tangibles, no vote, y'all either Russian bots or y'all Trump supporters, y'all Republicans. And that's a way to kind of that's a way to kind of scare the old Negroes away from, the plantation Negroes away from our talking points by associating the things that we say with right wingers and the Republican Party. That's the game right there. And so there's a lot of Black Republicans that be in our spaces
listening,
sounding like us, but then they put all the white supremacy on the Democrats.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And we spend a lot of time calling out the Democrats because, the Democrats is the ones that we've been loyal to for so long. You know what I'm saying? The Democrats are the ones that depend on us to keep them in power. So we spend a lot of time focusing on the Democrats, but that doesn't mean that we're Republicans or that we support the right wing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so we have to make sure we do a good job of differentiating ourselves from these people. You know what I'm saying? So that we cannot get lumped in with them. We do not make politicians accountable to trillions spent annually and no voting, no ask or demand on them. We're giving our demands. They know what our demands are.
What is it?
But they're trying to run game around it. They're trying to ignore us, and the parts that they can ignore. Like I said, one of the tricks that they're trying to do is they're trying to make it seem like we're some type of ops for the Republicans or something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're some operatives for the Republicans that's here to dissuade the Black vote and cause dissension in the Democratic Party. What's up, baby girl?
But her strategy, though, to try and sway us to the Republican Party, yet they're offering nothing either, just like the Democrats. Like, what is your point? Like, what's her point? You're telling us to go, that's going to be the punishment to the Dems, us voting.
Y'all say hi to my baby girl. That's Raya right there.
I'm featured on his Instagram. You guys like me the most.
Just give her a beard. Just give her a beard and that's your face.
You said just give her a beard and that's my face.
Bye.
Bye.
That's my only girl, y'all. I got 4 hard-headed ass boys and just one baby girl.
One princess.
But what you were saying though, my bad.
I was just saying, saying basically she wants us to punish the Democratic Party by going Republican, and then we get on here with Republicans, and what do we get?
And that's where her argument really fell apart at. You know what I'm saying? Because let me see what she said. Because I wasn't looking at her like no type of Asian or nothing like that. I was really genuinely trying to get an understanding of where she was coming from. Let me go to the thread. Because my comment was, we don't need no water, let the motherfucker burn. She said, right? She said, what's your exit strategy from the burning house? Freedom built and their descendants. Oh, freedmen built and their descendants call home. So again, using our language and our talking points, certainly the world is a big place and freedmen can get citizenship elsewhere. What's your plan B after plan A runs out or burns? Okay, where's my replies?
You gotta hit it. You put exit strategy. This is my land. I ain't going nowhere, and we've already survived the worst that could ever happen.
Right. Right. That was, I don't see it, but that was my reply. And she started going back and forth.
Then get ready for the people who are already here and flooding the border by the 10,000s monthly to treat you like a byproduct and pest of the homeland. They are poised to colonize with political power. They'll rip right out of our hands. You're sitting as a perceived act of power. She's saying sitting out is a perceived act of power. And then you said fear mongering won't get foundational Black Americans to the poll, but tangibles will. Right. And she said facts and forecasting can cause fear. In the next years of Dems and pro-immigration electeds, Black American voters and multi-generational white American voters will neutralize guests in their own country. Take it how you want. I'm not courting you, and they won't either. You said, but Dems won't get elected if we don't vote. So
Right
I
there.
guess I'm confused right here.
Right there. And that was my point, because the whole time I'm thinking she's telling us to vote for the Democrats. But then when she said that, I'm like, but if we don't, because the thing about this, the reason why us not voting is a power move, and it is an actual political maneuver to not vote. Not voting is not just sitting in your hands, not doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Not voting is actually a strategic political maneuver, right? And so without us as their base, the Democrats can't win. And the Democrats are the one that are funneling all of these immigration policies.
Mhm.
So that's where she lost me at, because she's saying, okay, you sit at home and then you're going to get flooded with all these immigrants. I'm like, but what if we sit at home, the Republicans will be in power and they're against all this immigration stuff.
We don't have
So,
to necessarily vote for them. We just have to sit out and they automatically get it. So if you're
right,
capering for them, she could have won the argument by like, yeah, sitting out is great.
right,
Right?
because if you're going for the Republicans, then you win by default through our strategy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So she's really exposing herself. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
After that, though, she said, I guess you haven't heard about the amnesty bill they're trying to pass as the Dignity Act and the New York legislation that will give various types of non-citizens the right to vote in local elections, including 800K in New York. We already know that. They're also doing it in Sacramento. So
It's already done in New
it's
York.
not that we don't know about it. We already know about it. We're very, very much aware. I don't like how they try to make it seem like, they know more than you.
Mm-hmm.
You know
They're
what I'm
so
saying? Like,
informed.
we
They're
the
so
dumb
informed.
Negroes again.
Yeah, they're so informed, and we're just following Tariq. That's all
Right.
we doing. Y'all niggas is just following Tariq.
Right.
Y'all don't know nothing about politics. Y'all just following Tariq. Like, lady, we read the same shit you read. And thank you,
Right.
Crown 808, because that's all that was right there. Word salad.
I just
And
want to say this too, because it's another part that she threw in there and was in response to someone else. Though she said, when FBA have met with multiple Democrats at all levels of government or multiple Republicans all at levels of the government, what did they ask for, inform about during those various meetings? Feel free to only speak to what you participated in or receive direct accounts from participants. My thing is, we are turning a new leaf. And I'll say maybe for the last couple of years, we have been turning a new leaf. Now, do we have to get rid of some coons up in our own, spaces? Obviously, we got to get certain people on code. And I think slowly but surely we are getting on code, even the older generation. I tell my mom is in her 70s.
it is some old heads out there that.
Yeah, my mom was just like, you know what? Stop. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, we can't keep doing the same thing because, I don't want another generation because I've already failed y'all, right? By, having y'all vote one way just because that's how I was taught. We have to obviously break that cycle. So she's like on it. When I hear her on the phone with her old church people, kind of sounding like me, I get proud.
Yeah.
She's trying.
No doubt. No doubt. And a lot of them are proud of us. A lot of them do see what we're doing and see the type of time that we're on. And they saying, go get them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We dropped the ball. Y'all go get them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Perfect example. Just stepped in the room. Peace to Mama Love. Perfect example right there. You know what I'm saying? When Mama Love hear us talking, she proud. You know what I'm saying? She's embracing a new understanding of, the way that things have been going and the way that things work, you know what I'm saying, and what we need to be doing in this hour.
Right.
But yeah, TD, I had my dude Tony in the building right now from TD Hip Hop, man. But I had no idea who this lady was. I have been seeing her. I've been seeing her icon. I recognize the icon, and I think I must have followed her from us being inside one of the spaces. She followed me. I follow her back, whatever. And so, but it was just that tweet that caught my attention. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, hold on, this
I sent it to you. I sent it to you. Remember, I saw it and I sent it and I was like, something is off about this, and I was like, is she trying to get us stay on the Democratic plantation? And you was like, nah, I think she's trying to actually get us over to the Republican side. But if it's still no tangibles, we kind of had a conversation behind, but I actually sent it out because I was confused. I see her all the time in these spaces, like she's about reparations and stuff. Republicans have not come out and said that they are for reparations.
Not at all.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't
Not
heard
at
that
all.
yet.
You heard what Mitch McConnell said.
If you listen to a lot of the Black Republicans, none of them are talking about reparations. They'll talk about everything else. They'll talk about, that gender, stuff. They'll talk about LGBT stuff, but they are not talking about reparations at all.
Right. Oh, sorry. My bad. And it's the same thing. Oh, I'm trying to take this off of here. It's the same thing with the white Republicans. Like, there's a lot of stuff that they talk about and say that we all agree on. You know what I'm saying? Right. When it comes to the immigration stuff, like you said, when it comes to the LGBT stuff and all of that stuff, when it comes to a lot of different issues that they speak on, you know what I'm saying, the Republican Party, we like, we down with that. We down with that all day. And right up until they start being anti-Black as hell. That's where it goes left at. That's where it goes left at. And I don't understand for the Black Republicans out there, I don't understand how that's not a deal breaker for y'all. I don't understand how that's not a deal breaker for y'all.
I just don't see at this point in the game any one Black American, Black people, period, a Black voter, period, supporting either party that has nothing for you, because no one has a Black agenda. No one does. Neither side. So what is she talking about? I'm damned if I do or damned if I don't. That's how I look at it, So her points just didn't make sense at all. And like you guys said, word salad. She was just throwing stuff out there. I think that she's been, in all these spaces with Marcel and that Tamara Seeley and, just in those, secure the tribe rooms and stuff like that. And it was sounding good for a minute, but they eventually, show their hands, I guess.
Calvin said there's already an immigrant worker program called H-2B, and universities and corporations are making millions annually. It is all about the money, and it's time to direct percentage of trillions of dollars to our communities.
Period.
Facts. Shout out to my dude Calvin. That's my dude Calvin right there, man. Shout out to my guy right there. Good brother. That's a good ally right there. You know what I'm saying? Because I think his family comes from Barbados. Nah, we're family from. His family from somewhere in the islands. But that's a good ally right there, man. He understands.
Well, I'll say this. Just looking in the thread outside of just your responses to her, she did not get the response that she thought that she was going to get. I don't see any really that supported the bullshit that she was throwing out. Nobody was eating the salad. Nobody was eating the salad, period.
Right. No doubt. So what else we got to talk about today, man? I kind of just threw that in there.
Well, not that we are surprised, right? I'm definitely not surprised, when these cases come up, especially when nothing happened with the no-knock warrant with Breonna Taylor. What did we expect? For this brother, his name, there you go, Amir Locke. No charges will be filed against the officers who, picked his baby and killed him while he's on his couch sleep.
Now you just said something, and I want to say this about that. So yeah, in the Amir Locke case, the young boy that was shot in his sleep, they came in his crib while he was asleep. He jumped up. Not knowing what was going on. I think he grabbed his pistol or whatever the case may be. They shot him and killed him.
Within seconds. There was a no-knock warrant. They was at the wrong place. He wasn't who they was looking for. That wasn't the right place that they went into. But nobody's going to be charged for his death. Unsurprisingly, of course. Yeah. But the thing about it is this. It's not about the no-knock warrant, family. You know what I'm saying? The no-knock warrant, because you see Benjamin Crump and them out there talking about, see, this is another example why we got to get rid of no-knock warrants. You know what I'm saying?
that they get us focusing on the wrong things.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that law enforcement all over this country has been infiltrated by white supremacist race soldiers.
Period.
Google the term ghost skin, and that will give you an idea of what we're dealing with. Google that term, y'all. Ghost skin. Google that term, ghost skin, and that will give you an idea of what we're dealing with. And you can also look up the FBI report where the United States, their own law enforcement agency, the FBI, has reported that law enforcement all over this country has been infiltrated by extremist groups. Card-carrying white supremacists are in all of these goddamn law enforcement agencies.
Law enforcement, everything.
And so that's the reason why our people are being murdered like this, and they sleep and all of that shit, not because of a no-knock warrant. That's not what we need to be focused on. We need to be focused on the race soldiers that are infiltrated the goddamn police.
Period.
Right. Panama, Jamaican, and Barbados. Okay, I knew it was something like that.
And then they tried to focus on the fact that when it finally hit, the news, that he shot at the police and blah, blah, blah. Well, he was in his home. It's 2-3 o'clock in the morning. He's a licensed gun owner, right? So he's licensed to carry, and he had every right to protect himself and his house from someone who's kicking the door in. Also, I believe that it was questionable if they even announced themselves before they kicked it in. Per the video, whatever. I don't think they made any type of announcement who they were. And then you guys have all kind of high-tech police, military gear. You guys got goggles where you can see in the dark. You have all this equipment. So what are you scared of? And you're going in the wee hours of the morning, so niggas asleep.
That's another thing. That's another thing. They're not scared.
No.
They're not scared. That's part of their training.
Mm-hmm.
They go to these trainings on how to get away with killing a nigga. And that's one of the things that they train them to say. I feared for my life. I was afraid for my life.
Put your weapon down. Nobody got a weapon. Put your weapon, just screaming out anything, right? And there's no weapon. Every time we look up, oh, this person was unarmed.
They start giving out all types of contradictory commands.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Where you don't even know what to do.
Remember the one in Georgia? He was at the gas station, and the guy was giving him conflicting demands, and then he started yelling, he has a gun, and he was like, no, I don't, my hands are up. And he was like, I'm not doing nothing because you're gonna shoot me. You already lied. He was calling them out right then and there. You're lying right now.
Right.
Like, I'm not moving, bro. So yeah, they do that bullshit on purpose so they have an excuse to shoot you. And even though there's body camera, and the body camera supports the fact that they are race soldiers, we cannot seem to find white supremacists or hold white supremacists accountable for killing black people unjustly. They get immunity.
And thank you, Crown 808. Ghost Skin is a white supremacist who refrains from openly displaying his racist beliefs for the purposes of blending into wider society and surreptitiously furthering his agenda.
Right.
Remember,
every time there's one in a space that Tariq has, you notice he'll say, it's always that one, what can I do? Because I'm not a white supremacist and I want to help. Let us know who the white supremacists are. That's the only thing you can do for us at this point. And if you're not doing that, exit stage left, bro. If you serious, well, I went to a Black Lives Matter protest. Okay. All right.
The term has been used in particular to refer to entryism of racist activists in law enforcement. So that's what the problem is, family. It ain't about these no-knock warrants. It ain't about police training and police reform and all of these catchphrases and stuff that they get you focusing on so that the Democrats can go out there and use them same catchphrases to get you to vote.
For
all of this meaningless nothing burgers.
And the thing about it is, just like with the the Emmett Till lynching act, it's already against the law to lynch. And to me, define lynching, because they're not lynching Black people by hanging anymore. Law enforcement are using the weapons that they have within law enforcement to do it. And then you have other white supremacists who, I fear we're going to get to that topic shortly. The female, suspected white supremacists, that killed someone, they have immunity. Let's just be clear. There's already laws on the books to punish people. They just don't use it if it's going to benefit us.
I feel you, Nikki the God, but I kind of wanted to respond to that comment right there. You know what I'm saying? And only thing I will say to that is, you have a God-given right to defend yourself.
Period. It's in the Constitution.
You know what I'm saying? You have a God-given right to defend yourself. That's all I'll say to that.
Right.
All right. Well, let me see. Y'all, they purposely confused the situation. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, so that was the Mayor Locke situation, man. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say about that.
A whole life ahead of him, handsome young man, beautiful mother,
Is the family on hold, by the way?
I haven't seen, did they hire Crump? I don't remember.
I think Crump is on that job.
I just look sideways at anybody, honestly, that, goes that direction. And I understand, I just don't understand why he's the go-to, because nothing typically gets done when he's the go-to. I don't get it.
Yeah, we talked about that before. Is there any other attorneys out here?
Right.
It's just him and Lee Merritt. That's all we see every single time. You know what I mean?
Speaking of, when we get to that topic, because he has something to say.
Who, Lee Merritt?
Merritt.
About Ketanji?
Not about Ketanji, but about the suspected white supremacist female that murdered her boyfriend.
Oh, well, yeah, let's talk about that. Yeah, I forgot about that. Let's talk about that. Again, the theme of today's show is white immunity from law.
Right.
White immunity from law. So I know by now all of y'all heard about the Becky, the OnlyFans Becky that killed her Nigerian tether boyfriend. Mm-hmm. Stabbed him to death, and there will be no charges filed. I know y'all heard about that by now. So let's talk about that.
Let me see this too, but I just sent you something else because, I guess they had a history of public arguments. So their friends or people that know them that are close to their circle, they've always had public, arguments, beefs, whatever. I guess the neighbor said they will always hear, yelling matches, I guess, between the two of them. Never heard, nothing ever came out that anything physical has happened. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, but again, there's this, big Black dude, because he was pretty, muscular, and then Becky, blonde hair, blue-eyed Becky, or whatever. And they didn't arrest her initially because she was had a mental breakdown, I guess, or something about the situation. Wasn't that part of the story?
Allegedly, yeah. I seen there are pictures of her all covered in blood being questioned by the police. And,
white tears.
I guess they ended up bringing her to some type of facility to get some type of mental health attention. But the Nigerian brother was out here cooning it up his whole damn life. I don't got those tweets that he made. Pulled up. But
I think I do. I definitely do. Yes,
that was the thing about this whole situation. You notice how we're not as quick to jump on these situations anymore as we used to be. Every time something happened to somebody that's melanated, we're not as quick to jump up and down and get on board, because we gotta see who goes there.
Right. And
we gotta see who goes there before we put the cape on And it's sad and it's unfortunate that it got to be that way. But we got to see who goes there before we put the cape on for these people. Because this dude spent years on Twitter talking hellish shit about black people. Talking hellish shit about black Americans in particular and black women specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, these ghetto black chicks, this, these ghetto black chicks, that. Oh, why these Akatas gotta be this and that and the third. Just going on and on and on. Oh, I need me a white girl. Oh, I love white girl. I love white people. You know, just going on and on and on about how much he loved white people and how much he can't stand black Americans. And then he turned around and get his ass killed by this goddamn Becky. And Becky out here living her best life.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
Becky out here living her best damn life. She got like 2 million followers on Instagram. Her OnlyFans is popping. You know what I'm saying? It seems as though the story is being silenced. This is I guess a friend of theirs that had put it out there, letting everybody know. It seems as though this story is being silenced. Courtney Taylor killed her boyfriend Christian Obemseli Sunday night in their Miami apartment. She's been Baker acted, so the news can't release her name. It's not confirmed whether or not she killed him in his sleep, or that was half the thread, or if he was awake. And this was during an altercation. But what we do know is that she did stab him and took his life. Please don't support her in buying any of her content. And as the story unfolds, we will share more. So see if you can look on Ashley's page if there's any updates.
There's no updates other than the fact that, and I shared that in the materials right now, like this weekend, she was just out with a white dude at a bar having drinks. And people walked up on her like, you just killed somebody and you in the bar, like turned up all of a sudden. So she ran her ass up out of there.
Right.
I'm just saying, for me, you know, regardless of the situation, and especially if it's someone that, you know, that you love, I don't think that I'm going to be at a bar days later after killing anyone, you know, even an attacker, because that's still, even in survival, you know what I'm saying? I don't think that I'll be at a bar, you know, the last place. That was very cocky.
Yeah. And these are some of the tweets, family. I know y'all can't see that good, but it says, full of ignorant black women. Akata. Why is there always that one ghetto black boy in the back talking throughout class? Get out. Chill. LOL. The way black girls disgrace themselves on TV. Once again, I'm tired of these black girls in my government class. This is him, family.
Mm-hmm.
This is him. I want a white girl. Hashtag help. LOL. I can teach a white girl a little bit about African culture. When the beautiful white girls at Plain, whatever, somewhere, Plano East, wear yoga tights. So he's just ecstatic about white folks. White girls wearing white booty shorts everywhere. Now that's what I like. LOL. Yeah. I love white people. Shit. Me to a white girl. So that was him, family.
Yeah, well, your brother. I want to add to this.
We can't unite with that type of shit.
Your brother, y'all's brother, Lee Merritt, someone asked him, what are your thoughts on the things Toby tweeted about black women? And his response to this person that asked him this question via Twitter, I think our legal system is very effective at assassinating a victim's character when they're black. If we pile it on, it makes it easier to nullify black life without consequences. And I will continue to advocate for accountability for black murder, even when the victim has character flaws. I think it's worth noting that the tweets now circulating from 2012 to 2015, he was 26 when he was stabbed to death, And it seems a huge section of our population is willing to ignore his murder because of stupid things he tweeted when he was 16. And he knew better.
Listen,
Yeah.
listen. These
He
are the
lived
same.
those tweets.
See, these are the same people that was telling us Joe Biden's racism was 30 years ago. That was back in the days. Why y'all bringing up old stuff? Crime bill? Oh, that was a long time ago. He's changed. Why y'all bringing up old stuff? No, it's not about just a character flaw. This is an enemy of black people.
Period.
It's not just about a character flaw. Yeah, somebody might have been a drug dealer or something, and they got unjustly murdered by a police officer. You know what I'm saying? We still should stand up for that person, even though they was a drug dealer. You know what I'm saying? A person may, I don't know, what other kind of character flaws you might have, or whatever the case may be. You know, even something that we don't rock with. You know, a nigga might have been an abusive husband or something.
Right.
But he got unjustly killed by one of these race soldiers. We still want justice. You know what I'm saying? One thing don't have nothing to do with the other. We still want justice for that person, because that person is a proxy for the rest of us. This coon right here, he basically asked the ancestors for this.
Right.
This coon right here, he was calling on all the Orishas to get this work that he got.
By Becky.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you reap what you sow, fam. He called this energy into his life.
Be careful what you ask for. You just might get it.
So, no.
And I'm sure he forgives her. He forgives her, I'm sure. First of all, she's white, right? Yeah. And he loves him so much. So, you know, although he's no longer here, his spirit forgives her.
Right. And she out here living her best life, and I'm sure he's happy to see it.
Look at this.
I'm sure he is just pleased. Oh no.
Yeah, you should go. Because you just killed your boyfriend. Yeah, you did. Yeah, and yeah. Okay, cool. I'll videotape her. Right now, you should go. Yeah, you should go. Because you just killed your boyfriend. Yeah, you did. Yeah, and yeah. Okay, cool.
Who's the Kevin that's with her? I would like to know who's Kevin.
I'll videotape her.
Who's Kevin that's with her? Because all of a sudden now she has, you know, white male friends. There's also a video of her circulating. She was, I don't know if she was on a podcast or something, that she said that she likes rich black guys. That, you know, she messes around with.
Siphoning black wealth out the community.
Right.
Siphoning that black wealth out the community and all that. Yeah. So yeah, family. There's no retirement plan for buck dancing and cooning.
It is not.
All right.
These folks will make a fool out of you real quick.
Well,
right, Ricardo. Seriously, we don't know. Maybe that's, you know, maybe it was a setup.
Who knows? But anyway, in today's bedwinch news, Ketanji Bedwinch Jackson. What's her name?
Brown?
Is it Brown. Jackson or Brown?
I think it's Brown.
I think it's Jackson and Brown. She got two last names. Something like that. But let me
I want to know her maiden name. What's her maiden name? Is maiden name? I think her they've scrubbed her profile. I'm hearing stuff, you know, she's named after her West African ancestors or something like that, but I don't know.
Now, who's saying that? Because there was one dude on Twitter that said she's not FBA. And I asked the dude, I'm like, do you have any receipts on that? You know what I'm saying? Because I would like to know, you know what I'm saying, if that's true or not. And I guess he thought I was trying to cape for her or something, because he was like, can you prove the statement false or some shit? You know, he came at me hot. Can you prove
I
the
tried
statement
to look.
false?
I
I
tried to
looked.
search. I tried, and the only thing they're talking about is her name comes from her West African ancestors. What does that
No,
mean? I don't
no,
know.
no. Her aunt, I believe it was stationed somewhere in West Africa, and she gave her parents that name, her first name, not her last name, but
So they came
Katanji.
up with this story.
Uh, you ain't buying it.
That's the story. That's
You
the
ain't
story
buying
they
it.
came up with. Hmm.
I don't know, but my thing is this: we ain't got to make nothing up on these people. You know what I'm saying? The truth will suffice. You know what I'm saying? She appears to be a foundational Black American, but she's still a bed witch. You know what I'm saying? So we know that the melanated people who who are generally off code fall into certain categories. You got your non-FBA tethers, you got your bed winches and your swirlers, you got your LGBT Negroes, right? And there's another one. There's another one too. There's
There's
another cat.
categories.
Uh, you got these Black Republican Negroes. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But there was something else that I was thinking about the other day, man, that I hadn't heard anybody mention.
Yeah.
Because Professor Black Truth be breaking down some of these categories. I've heard Tariq talk about some of these different categories, but there was one that came to mind the other day, and I was like, oh, I ain't hear nobody say this one. It'll come. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. But yeah, they usually fit into one of those type of categories. So even if she's foundational Black American, she still falls into the bed witch category. And I know a
And
lot of
she's
people out
beyond a
there.
bad witch to me, though, because this is a woman who, out of 25 cases where she could have helped Black people, right? She, 22 of them pursued by Black plaintiffs, she ruled against 19 of the Black plaintiffs. The largest one was that Lockheed company, which they were actually ready to pay these
Mhm,
Black employees, and she came in there and was like, pulled the whammy bammy. Nah, they don't deserve nothing. Even though
mhm,
this company was ready to pay. And
mhm.
and she was like, nah, you know what? They don't need no money.
See, but that's the problem with the bed winches. And I
Mm,
know, a lot of people out there don't like, well, they got to be bed winches and this, that, and the third. Well, listen, man, we calling it what it is. These
that was
people
very
need to
good.
be alienated and ostracized because these people are enemies of Black society. And you know what I'm saying? It's not just about your dating preference or who you're married to. You know what I'm saying? That makes you a bed witch. It's the fact that you take on the ideology
Right.
of your oppressor. You take on the ideology of white mommy and daddy and start working against your own people, especially these people who are in so-called positions of power, positions of authority
All
and
the
whatnot.
time.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all take on the ideology of white mommy and daddy and start working against us. That's what makes you a bed wench. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just about your dating preference. That's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? You like what you like, you love who you love. I ain't here to get into that. But as you can see, like you just pointed out, all of these cases where she ruled against Black people getting any type of
Mhm.
justice or compensation,
Right.
that shows where your mindset is at and what ideology that you're beholden to. And that's what makes you a bed wench. That's what makes you a problem. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just name calling, family. We're labeling people in order to so people can be identified for what they are.
Right. And let's also be clear. We're celebrating her being the first Black, Supreme Court, judge, right?
Black
And there's
woman.
emphasis on woman, emphasis on female, but when she's asked what a female is, all of a sudden she's scratching her head. She don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So you can't define what a woman is, but we're supposed to be celebrating this historical moment for women
Right.
because you got uh what do you call it? Not elected, but what do you call it? Confirmed,
Selective.
confirmed
Selective.
to the Supreme Court. This is supposed to be a historical moment for Black women,
Women.
but you don't even know what a woman
Woman
is.
is.
And if we asked you to define what Black is, you probably couldn't tell us that either.
Right.
You probably be all type of ambiguous about that too. Well, you know, we're all just people. You know, I might be a little darker than you, but you know, my daughter, has black and white ancestry, and so what is she? What is she then? You know, I don't know what black is. We'll get that same type of babble if there was to ask her that question. And so this is supposed to be a win for black people, according to the Democrats. Ooh, there was something else. I want you to see if you could find it. I know you saw it. That goes with what we're talking about right now. There was a news story where they were basically saying what we've been saying, that the Democrats are hoping to use this as a win to get black voters back on board. They were saying it clear as they wasn't trying to hide it at all.
What it was on Twitter too.
They were saying it clear as they said, listen, you know, Biden has been losing black support left and right. You know, he's been taking all these L's left and right. And so the Democratic strategists are hoping to be able to use this as a win to get black people back on board with the Democrats.
Yep.
What we said that their plan was, they just basically showing their hand now. They just saying, yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. Well, is it going to work? That's what they're saying. Yeah, that's what we're doing, family. Is it going to work? Y'all like our bed winch?
It's been working. That's how it is. Let me tell you, when the confirmation happened, my phone was lit up. You know, with people within my family clapping and shit. And I purposely didn't even comment. I was like, I'm not even gonna go there. You know what I'm saying? Because it's pointless for me.
Yeah, because it's Ramadan.
What are you clapping for?
You got to keep your peace. It's Ramadan.
I just gotta keep. Yeah, I know. I was just like, what the heck? Like, this cannot be real. Like, at what point do we stop doing this? And my thing is representation, because we're always here. Well, representation matters. I want someone to represent me about tangibles. What you look like or your skin tone, your melanin does not, that's not going to do it for me.
Right. That's not representation.
If your representation is only your skin color, but you're still helping white supremacists, then I don't need that. So representation to me means repping me about these tangibles we've been talking about these reparations that we're talking about. You guys know exactly what it is that we've been talking about for the last 2-3 years when it came to this political thing, what we've really been hammering in. So don't talk to me about what someone looked like when she shares the same skin color. Okay.
That's a fact. And that's a whole fact. And in that case, representation could be a whole white person.
Right.
If they talking about what we talking about, then they representing us. If they pushing our agenda, that's our representative. It don't matter what they look like. It's not about having a black face in a high place. That the fact that niggas are still happy about that, like, come on, wait, what year is this?
Right. Even with Q was talking about the contract for Black America. Everybody, oh, you a sellout, you know, all these people coming at him. And he's like, listen, I'm talking to whoever's in power. Whoever's able to make the moves to get us what we need as Black Americans, that's who I'm willing to talk to. I don't care if it's on blue, left, or right. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same crap. He was saying the exact same thing, and I'm still pissed off at people. I still believe that he's do a public apology for the bullshit that people were spewing against that man.
I'm gonna come back to that in 1 second. Shout out to my dude Duan B.
Oh yeah, this was great.
I want to read his caption that he put up. Duan B. out there in Cali with our sister Nicety Girl.
Yep.
He said, I remember the day Clarence Thomas was voted into the Supreme Court. I remember the cries of racism being used during his hearings. I remember the media using that to rally against Anita Hill. Mm-hmm. I remember being told how important it is to have a Black person on the Supreme Court. I remember teachers and adults alike telling me how much Clarence Thomas on the Supreme Court is a win for Black people. I was told as a 10-year-old, he is who I should aspire to be. Clarence Thomas's selection to the Supreme Court came 4 months after Rodney King was beat on camera, 4 months before Latasha Hollins was murdered on camera, 3 months later, Latasha Harlan's killer, Soon Jadu, was let off with probation. 9 months later, the cops that beat Rodney King walked free. As a 10-year-old boy, I sat in my post-LA riots burned down neighborhood and wondered how this could happen. I was told black faces in high places would get justice for our people. 31 years later, I see adults lying to kids, repeating the same bullshit lies to black children. Have we learned our lesson, or will we have another generation of black children paying for the sins of their fathers and mothers? That was so on point right there.
Man.
That was the post of the week right there. That was the post of the week, and that might be a new segment that we do on here every Sunday. We might have to start doing the post of the week. But that was super on point right there. Shout out to Duane B once again.
I think I found that clip, by the way. I'm DMing it to you on Twitter.
No, I'm on Instagram.
I don't think I can get it there. I found that clip on
Just copy the link.
Okay.
Yeah, just copy the link. But yeah, real quick, let me go back to this. Yeah, because again, this is supposed to be a win for black people, family, and it's absolutely not. This is no different than Clarence Thomas. No different. No different than Clarence Thomas. But this is the bullshit that they're trying to sell. Can y'all see that?
I do so now.
Okay.
Poetic words of Dr. Maya Angelou. I do so now while bringing the gifts my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave.
Oh my God, corny, lame, bull.
Tomato. Let me get some tomatoes in the chat.
Right.
Tomato. Fuck out of here with that
cocked
shit.
her gun back from the grave. She's like, I will shoot you. What you mean?
Fuck out of here with that shit, man. Trying to sell us on this bullshit. The slaves wanted reparations, okay? The slaves wanted to be repaid. They wanted to be paid for their labor.
That part.
You know what I'm talking about? That was the dream of the slave, to be paid for their goddamn labor, you know, to take possession of this country that they built. You know what I'm saying? To not have systematic white supremacy. That was the dream of the slave. Not to get a goddamn government job. I was about to say I can't get no tomatoes in the chat. I thought y'all was with her on that.
There they go.
I thought y'all. All right, there's a little delay. My bad. I thought y'all was with Ketanji for a minute there. I just say shit.
We got some suspects in here. I'm just kidding.
But let me just play this right here real quick before I go to that link you just sent. Because
this is, Lord forgive me, I don't like to judge people based on their looks. I don't. But this woman is hard on the eyes, even for me. And I don't go that way. But she's hard on the eyes.
So this is Synthetic G. This is Synthetic G, and I know a lot of you, some of y'all be sitting around listening to Synthetic G for some reason. Lord, I can't figure out why.
Yeah.
But she gets a lot of views. So some of y'all sitting around listening to this bullshit.
Well, it ain't because of what she looked like.
Lord Jesus. If she take off that head wrap, boy.
You imagine?
If she take off that head wrap and wash her face. Lord. But listen, only reason I want to play this is because we talking about Ketanji, you know, Bedwench Brown Jackson. And I just want to drive home why bedwenches are so dangerous. You know what I'm saying? This is the reason why, especially bedwenches who are in positions like Ketanji is. Like your everyday bedwins that you see in the mall running around or whatever the case may be. All right, whatever. You could kind of ignore them. They're gonna learn their lesson the hard way. But the ones that are in position, these black female politicians and police chiefs, and you know what I'm saying, judges and whatnot. This is the mindset that they have, and this is why we can't just ignore them, fam.
No. Imagine the pillow talk.
Listen to this shit. Hold up.
Those eyebrows.
Hold up. This is her sitting here talking to some white zaddy.
Black women are the most educated demographic across America. So, I put my hand up for that. If you want to get an education, you want to better yourself, you want to, perpetuate good life behaviors and push away negativity, that's great. It's just nonstop negativity, draining the life force out of Black women who are doing all of the legwork, all of it. You're doing everything on your own. There's no help for you on the other end of your community. I don't know why Black men expect you to act feminine when they've taken on the feminine role. So you had to follow nature and play both roles. And then they call Black women overly aggressive, matriarchal, when they're not playing their natural role. So I'm very confused why Black men who act like women would want you to submit. I don't know how much more feminine you could be than that. Listen, if you have children indiscriminately with people and you don't care where you blow in your loads, you deal with consequences. Black men want to continue to be ridiculously irresponsible in a sexual manner, then they could deal with the consequences, losing driver's license, losing the ability to have money or a bank account, having their credit destroyed. That's a choice. You're making a choice. At the end of the day, you're choosing who to bed down with. I don't appreciate the level of pressure that they put on women in your community. Raising children is tough with two people. I have parents that help out too, and it's still tough. You're still the most educated demographic in America. So I don't know how you're pulling that off.
So what do you think about the fact that Black men try to speak for y'all, white men, in terms of what y'all desire?
Well, you really can't gatekeep my sexuality. I love and respect Black women. Men are a nuisance. They don't know how to act like men anymore. I'm attracted to power, first and foremost. If a Black woman is the most educated person in my wife's friend group, which it is, then I'm intellectually attracted to that person. So
they run around and say that, white men are threatened by them. Are you guys threatened by Black men?
No, not physically, not economically, not intellectually. I think that Black women can compete with white men. I know there's a couple people in the Business Owners Association I belong to with Black women that are running in the same circles as me. And let me tell you, they're running their tight ship real good, and they're making money hand over fist and taking care of their families by themselves without Black men. So both of them, they're both single mothers, and they're both paying their kids' college tuition cash by working in my industry. You're not the problem. Black women, at least you could sit down at my table and have a meal with me and discuss problems openly. Black men are just irate.
So I hope y'all could hear that pretty good.
Yeah.
It sound good?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the mind fuck that they've allowed to be run on them, because I know that they deep down inside they know that this is bullshit. But this is the mind. It's the same thing as the tethers. The foreign tethers have convinced themselves that if they suck up to white mommy and daddy and throw foundational Black Americans under the bus, there'll be some safe space that will make them immune from white supremacy. Same thing with these bed wenches. They think if they kiss up to white daddy and listen to all of this bullshit and let him smack you around in the bedroom and call you nigger bitch and all of this shit, and throw Black men under the bus, there's going to be some safe space carved out for you and make you immune from white supremacy. And that's the reason why we cannot support the Ketanji Bedwench Jackson Browns of the world. Brown Jackson, whatever her name is.
Mm.
That's the reason why we can't support those types. That's the reason why people that don't understand, those of y'all that's in the back of the class, like, why y'all going in on a Black woman? Y'all should be proud. This is a Black woman. Why y'all not celebrating this Black woman? Because that thing that you just seen on the screen a while ago, that was a Black woman.
Mm-hmm.
Are we supposed to support and celebrate that?
And it's almost like she was giving this white man props. She was, highlighting what he's saying. And he be done buried your ass in the backyard some damn where,
Right.
that you over here. Yeah. And let's also talk about the conditions. Even with some of the stuff that he says may be true, right? Maybe, right? But
None of
why
that shit was
are these
true.
things occurring, right? So if we're gonna talk about it, why aren't black men say in the homes anymore? White supremacy. Why aren't black men able to support their children the way that I'm sure most of them would want to? White supremacy, right? So no matter what you're talking about, all fingers still point to white supremacy.
All roads lead
Period.
to white
Point blank.
supremacy. It's like Nelly Fuller says, man. Anything negative that you could point out in black society exists because of white supremacy.
White supremacy.
Right? But the thing about it is, even with that, everything that he said was absolute bullshit and has been debunked and can be debunked. You know what I'm
Period.
saying? Like black men are the most supportive of their children out of all groups. Out of all groups. And I know a lot of black women like, yeah, right, with that book. A lot of black women don't even believe that one. But even the CDC had to tell the truth and shame the devil when it came to that, because they did a little study a couple years back and found that black men out of all groups are the most involved with their children, are the most supportive of their children, even when they're separate from the mothers, even when they're incarcerated. They're the most likely to keep in contact and maintain a relationship with their children. So that shit is bullshit.
Listen, I got a homeboy that's locked down right now. I grew up with this cat. You know what I'm saying? And he has two kids, 10
Yo,
and
y'all heard
12.
that? Y'all heard nice. Y'all heard nicey sound like Ice Cube just now. Listen, I got a homeboy. You know what I'm saying? I got a
Locked
homeboy.
down. But guess what? When he called me, the first thing he check in with me and just got off the phone with my kids. They so spoiled. They look forward, to the calls from their daddy. I'm looking forward to coming home. His babies is still a priority.
Right.
Period. He's not using that he's not even using that as an excuse not to support him. You know what I'm saying? Because he has some money tucked away. You know what I'm saying? So he makes sure that his babies are even still supported. I'm going to eat whatever they're giving me up in here, and I'm going to make sure my babies are taken care of. And he locked away.
Right.
So there are black men out here who have every excuse in the world not to support their kids and are still doing it.
All right, let me pull this joint up.
I just want to. I hope you keep putting up this one with this white dude that says that his kids see him naked and he has black adopted children.
No, the one you just sent me from Twitter.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
That's what Tesla posted.
Yes.
And Jackson, whatever you pinned in there is not showing. I just see a pin, but I don't see no link or anything. But yeah, here we go. I don't even know what this is, but we'll watch it together. Can y'all see? Okay. We love y'all too. We love y'all back, black women.
I think back 2 months ago to what Democrats were saying at the time. This was supposed to be a moment when Democrats could really remind their base, this is why you put us in office. This is why you elected a Democrat to the White House. This is why you have Democrats in control of the Senate for a moment like this. And of course, we are getting months away from those midterm elections. Democrats hope.
Hey, hold on a second before I let that finish. Let me bring that back a little bit. Jason Black was breaking down the optics of this photo right here, by the way.
It was horrible.
The optics of this photo right here, by the way, and we're starting to see a pattern because we see the same photo with him and Kamami Harris, the other Bedouin chief. And who was the other sister? The other black female? Somebody else that he gave a job to, another black female that he gave a job to. Every single time you see this same
look.
Him standing there looking down at them. They looking up at him in awe and just all jittery and I can't break it down like Jason. Y'all go listen to Jason broadcast.
It just
But
screams.
it's very cringeworthy.
Yeah, it's hard to look at.
It's
And
very
who is this
cringeworthy.
man? He's had a ton of facelift. They done pulled his skin back so much. His ears in the wrong spot, like his hair, everything. What's going on with Joe?
And the thing is, man, if little old me and you know Joe Biden's history of racism,
She does too.
imagine what they know.
Right. I mean, she's educated and all, well studied,
You know what I'm saying? They know behind the scenes shit that ain't never been put out there. You know what I'm saying? And you still
That's kind of like, not to say that, there aren't any FBA off code folk, but we're noticing this pattern too of these positions being handed to non-FBA females because they come here and they do have a different thought process. They're here, what we keep hearing is for opportunity. She's getting an opportunity from Massa. So she doesn't look at it the same. All she sees is the opportunity. Damn what he's done to us, because most of the bills that he did were against us specifically. You know what I mean? So she doesn't see it in that way. That's why I have a hard time believing that she is FBA.
I'm going with she's FBA until proven otherwise.
I know. I mean, we have no choice, but
I'm going with she's FBA until proven otherwise.
My gut tells me different. I want to hear her parents talk. Why haven't we heard her parents talk?
Her parents, they both. I read a little bit about their parents. I think they're from New Orleans.
Why haven't they spoken though? I want to hear the words come out their mouth. See, we can pick up on stuff. Why haven't we heard them speak? They're alive. You know what I'm saying? Why? We drag them out like y'all drag every other Black person out. We want to hear from them. This is a proud moment for the family.
Right. And you know who I haven't seen in a minute before we finish this video? I haven't seen the little chick that did the poem at the inauguration.
Right. Where she is? Oh, they cultivating her. She'll be back.
Yeah, where they hiding Amanda at? Where they got her somewhere in the laboratory with a white zaddy, getting her ready. They weaponizing her right now. They sharpening that tool. Just a thought.
Are getting months away from those midterm elections. Democrats hope to use this again as a moment to remind voters of that once again and the priority, and particularly Democratic strategists say among Black voters and Black female voters, to try and juice a little enthusiasm among that group. If you look at polling numbers, has really dropped off in the past few months. You think back 2 months ago to what Democrats were saying at the time. This was supposed to be a moment when Democrats could really remind their base, this is why you put us in office. This is why you elected a Democrat to the White House. This is why you have Democrats in control of the Senate for a moment like this. And of course, we are getting months away from those midterm elections. Democrats hope to use this again as a moment to remind voters of that once again and the priority, and particularly Democratic strategists say among Black voters and Black female voters, to try and juice a little enthusiasm among that group. If you look at polling numbers, has really dropped off in the past few months. You think back 2 months ago to what Democrats were saying.
So they telling you what the strategy is, family.
Right.
The reason why we did this is to get you niggas to the polls. They just telling you what it is. You know what I mean? So you don't got to take our word for it. You ain't got to listen to me and Nicely. They telling you what it is.
A white woman said it, so maybe you guys will believe it.
The truth is under a comment of mine on one of Tariq's posts. Twitter says she is Nigerian. I know I'm seeing people say it, and that doesn't confirm. And Mama Love just sent me a screenshot. But again, this doesn't confirm or that she is or isn't. You know what I'm saying? It just says that she's an American attorney. You know what I mean? I've been reading about her for the last couple of weeks. You know what I'm saying?
I've been surely trying to dig myself. I've been trying my best.
Send us what you're talking about on Twitter, Nikki. Send it to the DM.
Because I'm over here looking for it, but I'm so far down. I'm like 6 days ago at this point.
Because I was asking people that were saying it for receipts, because I don't want to run with the narrative without no receipts, because again, okay, let me see what this is. Oh no, this is something else. My bad. I'll pull that up. I'll pull that up in a second.
Here it is.
Oh, you put it in the back channel. Okay, let me see.
Mm.
Pride of Africa. So George Otumo. Okay, let me see. Let me put this on the screen. Let me put this on the screen. Let me see. Do we have confirmation?
I think we have confirmation. This may be confirmation.
Breaking news?
Breaking news. You know, they love to celebrate a win for them, right?
Let me see. George Otumo says, Pride of... Is it on the screen? Did I share it?
No, you didn't.
Hold on. Y'all not going to be able to read it, but I'll read it to y'all. Pride of Africa. America's first Black Supreme Court justice in history, Ketanji Onika Brown Jackson, is a Nigerian. Born in Washington, D.C., parents are American descendants of enslaved Nigerians from West Africa, trace ancestral roots to Igbos and Southeast. Now, this is still confusing. Name Ketanji Onika translate the lovely one in Igbo language. 51-year-old, served as vice chair of the United States Sentencing Commission, active member of Judicial Conference Committee on Defender Services, Harvard University's Boards of Overseas and the Council of American Law Institute. Earlier worked as a law clerk to Judge Patty B. Saris of the U.S. District Court for the District of Massachusetts, then to Judge Bruce M. Selva of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the First Circuit. Outstanding in private practice at Washington, D.C. law firm Miller, Cassidy, currently serves on the board for Georgetown. All right, let me go back to this first part. Let me take this slow. Born in Washington, D.C. Parents are American descendants of enslaved Nigerians from West Africa. What does that mean? Traced ancestral roots to Igbos in Southeast. So, okay, I'm not worried about that first name. What is he saying? She was born in Washington, D.C. Got it.
Right. Anchor baby?
Her parents are American descendants of enslaved Nigerians. What does that mean?
Us talking about enslaved Black Americans, right? It's probably a dig. It's a dig. I'm looking at it as a little shade, maybe.
Why are they purposely trying to confuse people about her lineage? Who is this person?
Right.
Let me ask that. Who's George Otumo? Is he somebody? Is he somebody we should know? Or is this just a troll out here that be up in our spaces that's just, like she said, trying to take some type of dig? Who is George Otumo? Because that sentence doesn't make any sense. Parents are American descendants of enslaved Nigerians from West Africa. So it sounds like what he's saying is she's a foundational Black American, but her roots, her ancestral roots trace back to Nigeria, which all of our goddamn roots trace back to. That's every one of us. By the way.
I can't find him, by the way.
Huh?
I can't find him on Twitter.
Yeah. This is not confirmation for me. I don't know what that is. It seems like trolling.
I got excited for a second.
It seems like trolling. I don't know, but either way, it doesn't matter. I mean, it matters, but it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? What we know is already sufficient to discredit her. What we do know to be true is already sufficient for us not to support her.
Right.
I mean, she doesn't need our support at this point. She's on the Supreme Court. She's going to be there. She's only what,
Lifetime.
50 something years old. She's going to be there for 50 years.
Yeah, lifetime seat.
You know what I'm saying? But the point of the matter is we're not celebrating this. This is not one of our heroes. I don't want to see her on these goddamn posters with Ida B. Wells and them.
Oh my God, that right there. I was like, and Betty White. Who Betty White come from?
Yo, whoever made that one was trolling. They put Betty White on there.
Oh my God. Oh, you can't make this stuff up.
They put RBG on there. They had Terrence Howard on there. Like, I was like, what is this? What is this? Why y'all got... Y'all need to stop, man. Whoever made that poster
also was in it. Like, what?
Whoever made that poster is the same people that be putting gold fronts on Dr. King and them.
Right.
Whoever made that poster, that's the same graphic designer that be putting gold fronts on goddamn Marcus Garvey and them.
I mean,
y'all stop that shit.
They got Aaliyah. I was just so, yeah.
All right, let me. We've been on here for a minute, but let me get to this other story that you sent me. Let me get to this other story because I still gotta eat.
You all right?
I don't want to eat super late. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. I just don't want. It's not even that I'm starving, but I do need to eat some food, and I just don't want to eat super late and then, you know what I mean, go to sleep. Like that's kind of defeat the purpose.
I waste no time. When it's my time, I waste no time.
Yeah, well, I'm on here with your ass, so
right.
I ain't gonna be on here chewing and smacking and shit. But family, make sure that y'all hitting the like button. You know what I'm saying, and all of that good stuff. Said I keep eating really late. I know that's the problem, man. Like I'll probably eat and then go for a walk. You know what I'm saying? See if my daughter want to go for a walk with me since she here. If she don't want to go, she's on spring break. My my kids here was on spring break last week that just passed, and now she's on spring break this week.
It hasn't even started for my son until next week.
So if she don't want to go with me tonight, she definitely getting up and going with me in the morning because I said so. So what is this? My kids see me naked all the time. It is so much more than nudity. What? What part of Africa did they get these kids from? What part of West Africa did they go get these kids from?
Arrest him. How about that? Arrest him.
We keep our doors open, including the bathroom door. The hell is happening, man?
What? Like Vicky say, Black people don't do that.
Black people don't do that.
We just don't do that.
Why y'all don't go adopt some white kids and do this shit?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? At first, our open door policy was about safety. Having little kids meant no room for privacy. We've had interesting conversations with our kids, from how to manage a period to how to shave. Hold on. Who got their period?
Maybe the tall one.
Okay, she might be around that time. But she just got there. If she is, she just got there. She about 11, 12.
No, let me just say this. I got mine at 9.
It's the food.
Yeah.
Let me see. They are free to choose their own boundaries. So what they got, like what do they call that? Safety words? Pineapples.
Oh my God. So wow. Yeah, this should be against the law. You know, I feel like he needs to be investigated. These children needs a good, interrogation. Something that could be happening to them, or he's grooming them for something.
being naked in front of our kids started as a safety issue. At one point, we had 3 children under the age of 4. There was zero privacy. We never closed our doors because we had to supervise our children at all times. When we would occasionally take a quick bathroom break to shower or use the toilet, we needed to be able to hear our kids just in case. I mean, y'all can't go one at a time. Y'all got to both use the bathroom and take a shower.
It's only one toilet in the bathroom, so somebody's using the toilet and the other one pissing in the tub. What's going on? It doesn't.
As the years went by and our children grew older, we continued to keep the doors open. This wasn't a conscious decision. We simply didn't bother overthinking, and our kids were seeing us getting dressed or pee. In fact, it led to important discussions about our bodies. Now, my son, the littlest one, we go in public restrooms and shit like that. Of course, like today when we was on the road, we stopped by the gas station and shit. We go into the public restrooms, and so I show him how to handle his business. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, we in the bathroom together. You know what I mean? I show him how to handle his business while he in there, what to do, what not to do. Don't touch nothing and all this shit. You know what I'm saying? Wash your hands, all of this shit. But when we home, he's 6 years old. When we home, he go handle his business. You know what I'm saying? We ain't really, you ain't gotta take the same precautions as you in a public bathroom. You know what I'm saying? So at home, you go handle your business. You know, you gotta remind him to wash his hands and stuff like that. But you know, if you already showed them when they was 2 years old, you know, you past that stage.
It just screams degeneracy to me. You know, that's a very bathroom time, whether you peeing or number 2. It's very private. You know, I don't need you looking at me. We're gonna close the door just out of respect and privacy. You know what I'm saying? So when the teenager, because one of them at least is a teenager, when she's stepping out of the shower, it's okay for her to walk out the shower, no towel on, and it's like, there should be boundaries. There should be boundaries.
And talking about we let them set their own boundaries, but you done already programmed the boundaries into them that they're setting for themselves. They didn't really set it for themselves. This is what they're used to. This is what you've been doing. So now it's like, oh, it was their choice. You know what I'm saying? They're cool with it. I'm not making them do it. They're cool with it. So, you know, I'm not going to make it an issue. That's the type of shit you're trying to do.
Like, I just can't.
Just adopt your own kids, please. Just adopt your own damn kids.
Would never walk around nude in front of my daughter, now or then. Shower or use the restroom with the door open because his little girl is right. You know, it's just Black people don't do that.
Black people don't do that.
Black people don't do that.
Black people don't do that. But man, yeah.
And you notice they're always doing this with our children. We don't hear stories like this with their children. And maybe they do. Do they? You think they do? Maybe that's why they grow up kind of, you know.
Yeah, they train them.
Yeah, like, Lord.
All right, family. That does it for today's episode of Sincere Love the GodCast.
Yeah, that right there. There's nothing else that you can say after that. That was like the perfect ending because there's really nothing that you can. Nothing. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Just weird. Just weird.
Yeah, Jackson. Who knows? I don't put nothing past these people, man. Nothing past these people. They've been showing us for centuries who they are, and I believe them.
Can you imagine your daughter, just real quick before we go, your daughter going to school saying, you know, excuse me, my daddy came out of just random, you know, my daddy got out of the shower naked, just and nothing else. And a white teacher heard that. CPS is knocking on your door within a few hours, same night. We need to have a talk because your daughter mentioned that you're walking around naked, you know, in your home in front of her. Not that she said anything happened. She just mentioned it. You know, we're concerned, right? You imagine that shit?
Right. Right. Crown. For real.
That's just weird. I just know that your door would get kicked down, and possibly children taken. We need to do further investigation. We need to take them to the doctor, to make sure they're not being touched. Like all kind of traumatic things that they will have to go through just because of that. And this man is openly saying, "Well, when there's no boundaries, we
And
walk
why is
over."
it a story? Why is it a story, by the way? Why is it a
Right,
story?
right. Why is that news?
Why are they covering this? Are they trying to signal boost?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Are they dog whistling?
yeah. Make this normal too, so it's more
Yeah,
accepting.
yeah.
You know,
Normalize this type of shit.
hmm
Look what
with
we
black
got.
children.
They showing it off. That's what they doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they doing. They showing it off.
Mm-hmm.
They showing off with their capture their captives.
And there's nothing we can do about it because and
Wow.
under the guise of these are our children, we love them.
Hmm.
Those are some more Cynthia G's, being bred,
Katanji
unfortunately.
Browns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
Man. Man. And
and
the
I'm gonna
thing
use our
is,
folks in the diaspora. I understand that you guys want your children to come to America and have great lives, but this ain't it. Like,
that's exactly where I was going. That's exactly where I was going because a lot of those people, especially if they come from like those war torn areas, and we know all of Africa is not war torn and jungle and all of that shit. We know, okay, African brothers and sisters, but certain people do live in these war torn areas, and they will send their kids with the first white people they see, even if they
right.
can't go themselves. White people show up with some medicine and some water and they say, "Hey, let us take your kids back to America so they can have a better life," they let them go, family.
Mm-hmm.
They let them go.
So that's just made me sad.
I'm finna go eat my
Me
salad.
too. It's time for me to eat too. I get to eat.
I'm thinking towards the end. And now, mind you, family, just so y'all know, we participating in Ramadan, but neither of us are Muslim by
Right.
religion. You know what I'm saying? We all Muslim by definition. You know what I'm saying? But we're not followers of the faith of Islam. We're not part of the Nation of Islam. We're not Sunni or Shia, none of that. We're just participating with our brothers and sisters in order to help us. Well, she has her reasons, I have mine, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But kind of similar, you know what I'm saying? Help for me is to help strengthen my will and get more disciplined and try to get back focused on where I was at. A few months back, I was eating better. I was working out, exercising. And so just kind of got lazy with that a little bit. And so I'm using this time of Ramadan to help me get back on track, get back focused, and get some of this waste out of my body in the process. You know what I'm saying? And it's working. I feel the change happening. I feel, you know what I
Almost
mean?
2 pounds in this
Yeah,
1 week.
yeah. I lost 5 pounds last I checked. I plan on losing about 15 to 20 by the first of the month. But what
Mm-mm.
I'm thinking I'm gonna do is maybe the last week I'm gonna just go straight water. Like I'm not gonna eat no food, sun up or sundown. I'm just gonna do 24 hours of water for like that last week. I'm not committing to that. I'm just saying,
No.
I'm thinking about doing that for the last week to just do a whole water fast for those last 7 days because really I believe I can do it because I'm to the point now after 10 days where I don't be hungry like that. When it's time to
Right.
eat, I just eat because it's time to eat, but I really don't be hungry like that. I just be wanting to drink some water.
Right. Have you noticed though, for me, it's only been a full on week, 7 days. And I'm like, because I know it's time for me to eat, I'm hungry as heck, right? But I can only eat this one. I'll be mad as hell. Like I get
Mm-hmm.
full so quick and
Mm-hmm.
like stuffed within no time. Like I can't even get down like I used to anymore, which
Yes,
is good.
indeed.
It's good.
It's good.
Mhm.
It's good. And so the key is once Ramadan is over, not to go back to the old ways, to develop some new habits, you know what I'm saying? And just try to stay on track with it. You know what I'm saying? For me, that's what it is. Because I know that nature trail that I found, that's staying on the menu now. You know what I'm saying? I done fell in love with that little trail out there. You know what I'm saying? It's just so peaceful, and just being around all those trees and the waterfalls and all of that shit. I love it. So that's staying on the menu. I'm doing that right there. It's right close to the crib. I didn't even know it was there. I just thought about it one day, like, because I was gonna go to the park and walk the track. But I was like, they gotta have some trails around here, all these woods and shit. You know what I'm saying? I just Googled it. And yeah, I'm in love.
I also made a bean pie, y'all.
How was that?
Let me tell you. So I sent one to my brother's house, to he and his family over there, right? They all hit me up, was like, first of all, it's bomb. Some of them never had a bean pie before.
I can't go with them.
And they said that it's better than a sweet potato pie.
It definitely is.
And they went as far as saying, you should sell these. Like, they was just hitting that much. Like, why aren't you out there selling pies? Because
did you eat it?
To me.
Did
I
you
can
eat
show
any
y'all
of it?
text messages.
Did you eat any of it?
Yes.
Have you ever had a bean pie before?
I have, yes. I had my first bean pie like 2 years ago.
Okay.
And so yeah, I Googled it and I YouTubed it, and I did it, and it came out so bomb, y'all. Like,
bean pies is the shit. People that don't never had bean pies, y'all tripping.
Yes.
Bean pies is the shiznai.
My nephew's wife, she hit me up. She said, Auntie, she said, is this really made with beans though? I was like, yes. And so I did record it, some of it. So I started sending her images of me, making it and preparing it with the beans and stuff. She was like, wow, like, you would never know this was made from beans.
But the thing about it for me though, it's a slippery slope with anything like that, because I have a sweet tooth, like serious sweet tooth. You know what I'm saying? And so I need a healthier version of the bean pie, man. I need something with less sugar. You know what I'm saying? And non-dairy. I need a vegan bean pie. You know what I'm saying? In my life.
Let me research.
With some type of alternate sweetener, because once I eat that sugar, boy, it's like opening Pandora's box.
And the navy beans do that to you, Nikki? Because I find it, I used their navy beans in the Muslim culture. I found some organic navy beans, and like no one had gas, by the way. Nobody.
Oh yeah, no, that don't bother me either.
Yeah.
I fuck with navy beans, period. Navy bean soup, all that.
Let me tell y'all. So first of all, I made enough per the measurements to make 2 pies, but I wasn't thinking about that as I was making the beans. So I used the whole tub to cook the beans first, because I had to cook the beans obviously first before I made the pie. So with the beans left over, we got down on those the next day or whatever. I threw some smoked turkey up in those suckers and some onions and bell pepper, seasoned that. Let me tell y'all, my son was like, I don't know if I'm hungry, but these are fire. My mama got some. She has never eaten navy beans ever. And she was like, I'm done with pinto beans. They were bomb.
And they very good for you. You know what I'm saying? That's Elijah Muhammad's prescription right there.
Yeah.
That navy bean. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, family. If you haven't tried it, find you the mosque near you and get you a bean pie.
Right.
You know what I'm
know how to
saying?
make mine.
Yeah, if you're out there in LA, hit up Nicety Girl.
Homemade. All organic products. I did. I went all out. I was like, I want this to come out right. So when it did.
That's what's up. But all right, fam. We'll be back here on Wednesday. We got my brother Dirt, the Dream Saver, coming through on Wednesday. My ABS Tribe brother coming through. He got a new book out. So yeah, we're gonna get some heavy jewels from him. You know what I'm saying? I know he got a great story as well, you know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
behind his whole movement and mission and everything like that. So make sure that y'all tune in this Wednesday. Y'all know how we do 8 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with the Black Business Showcase. And then we got our brother from G&G Firearms on Thursday coming through with his team. And the whole team gonna come
the
through.
whole team,
You know what
yes.
I'm saying? We got the lawyer, we got the firearms
Yeah,
instructors,
okay.
and the business owners, you know, coming through to chop up some games. So that's gonna be an interesting show this Thursday as well. Make sure that y'all tune in for that. Yeah. Make sure you following me. I'm at Sincere Love to God on all social media platforms. Let them know where to follow you at.
And you can follow me on Instagram at Nicety Girl with the number 1 and Nicety Girl without the 1 on all other platforms.
There you go. There you go. And so remember, fam, we are not the master teachers, but we are the master students and signal boosters for the voices of the new Black media. Peace and Black love.
Do for self or suffer the consequences. The wisdom of Elijah's inside of